Football is back, and there's a club who's more than ready for the Prem this season. So much so, they have signed their 4 most expensive players ever in the last few weeks. More on these later. We are talking about none other than Ipswich Town, the team that was promoted to the English Premier League for the first time in 22 years. For over 2 decades, Ipswich Town have been away from the Prem, desperate to return. In fact, since its inaugural season in 1992, Ipswich Town has only played in 5 English Premier League seasons, one of which was the outstanding 2000 to 2001 season where they finished 5th immediately after coming from relegation. Yes, you heard that right. Under the management of George Burley, Ipswich secured a remarkable 5th place finish after being promoted as playoff winners the previous season, qualifying for the UEFA Cup. To date, this remains their greatest height in an English Premier League season. But after all of this, they are back. The Portman Stadium club has secured promotion to the English Premier League, and the question remains, how will they fare in the 2024-25 season? Last season was the first time since the 97-98 season that all 3 promoted clubs got relegated back down straight away. Burnley, Sheffield United and Luton didn't quite have enough in the locker to avoid the drop. Ipswich will be working extremely hard to make sure that they give themselves an excellent chance of avoiding the same fate as those clubs. Now, despite a remarkable season in 2001, they massively fell off the following season and somehow slipped down the table and finished in 18th position, going down to the 2nd division. Since then, there have been a series of battles by the club to return to the top flight, most of which ended in them going further down in the league rankings. At a time, it looked like they were progressing, but things then hit a new low in 2019 when they sank to the 3rd tier for the first time in nearly 30 years. So the team has a checkered history of playing in the lower leagues since Ipswich turned professional all the way back in 1938. And now, for many years, it looked like they were bound to play in the lower divisions forever. But the story started changing in 2021. Just like many clubs whose story changed after a change of ownership, like Man City, Chelsea or Newcastle, to name a few, Ipswich's story changed after the purchase from a new owner in 2021 after the US investment group Game Changer 20 Limited purchased a majority stake in the club. In December of 2021, the new owners decided to bank on Kieran McKenna, an assistant coach at Manchester United, to be the new manager of the team. Now, this decision will later turn out to be one of the best decisions in the history of the club. So, after finishing 9th in 2021-22 during an inevitable transition phase, Kieran's first full season in charge of Ipswich Town, the team shattered a handful of club records, including having an undefeated streak of 18 league games. Ipswich went on to finish the 22-23 season in 2nd place with 98 points and scored 101 league goals. Yes, you heard that right. This remains the highest point the club has amassed in a season. So one would think McKenna was done, but he was just getting started. Ipswich Town picked up where they left off in the 22-23 season and made more history in the 23-24 season. They achieved back-to-back promotions in the 23-24 season, becoming only the 5th team to do so in the entire history of the Premier League. With 96 points, they sealed the runner-up spot and were promoted to the Premier League, ending their 22-year drought in the top tier. Whew! What a brilliant run by McKenna's team. But what really changed? I mean, what extra spice did the Northern Irish manager bring to influence these wonderful performances? Well, although Kieran was actually termed a novice when he took the job because he had not headed a managerial as the main manager before, this was actually a misnomer because the 38-year-old manager is highly experienced. McKenna had worked under one of the best managers in the world, Jose Mourinho. He also worked under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralph Rangnick at Old Trafford, very experienced, before then going on to Ipswich Town. This wealth of experience is evident in the way that he talks to the media and manages his players. So to the surprise of many, Kieran has made a spectacular success of his first managerial career at Ipswich Town. Since he was forced to stop playing football himself at the age of 22, the now 38-year-old Northern Irishman has since invested in his managerial career, and this has paid off in spades. Kieran is renowned for playing possession-based football. In the 22-23 season, Ipswich had the most possessions, most passes, and the third lowest long ball count in the entire division. A key strategy in his game is the use of double pivots, so listen closely. He uses these two players to draw and drag opponents forward centrally. Are you wondering what this looks like? Imagine exactly the way Roberto De Zerbi's team plays at Brighton. So what this does is it makes it easy for players between the lines to receive a splitting pass through or a clipped pass over. However, unlike De Zerbi, McKenna looks for his number 10 to widen and reposition to one side. Now, this tactic worked wonders in the Championship. Will it stand the test of top-flight football? Time will tell. Now, surely a great tactician needs awesome players in order to provide the best results, and Kieran can boast of having a handful of them at his disposal. However, lots of the team from last year will not have experienced the top flight of English football, and experience in the Prem is huge in order to perform well in the league. Therefore, reinforcements were needed, and Ipswich Town were expected to make some necessary signings, and that is what they've done in all areas of the pitch, the majority of which will at least have had some experience with clubs in the top flight. So let's go through them. Firstly is the man who smashed the club's record signing fee out of the water when he arrived from Chelsea for £20 million. Omari Hutchinson was loaned to Ipswich last season and was brilliant. He scored 10 goals and got 5 assists in 20 starts from the right wing. He was so good that Ipswich spent big bucks on bringing him to Portman Road permanently. Now, keep an eye on this man. Next up is someone who's made just 2 appearances in the Prem, but has more experience for Man City's under-21 squad and is Ipswich's 3rd most expensive signing ever, Liam Delap. Now, you may recognise his name from FIFA Career Mode. He's a bright youngster who's had the potential to become a great player, and you'd be correct. Last season, he scored 8 goals in 26 games, and while these numbers are okay, Liam will likely start as the squad is lacking slightly up top, and George Hurst is seeing a knee specialist currently. Ipswich has also strengthened heavily at the back, starting with Ben Johnson from West Ham. You may recognise this name as someone who wasn't consistently starting for West Ham, but was decent defensively for the Hammers. The 24-year-old will for sure be a good addition to the team. He has started most preseason games, so it will be logical to think that he will start, but if not, he'll be good from the bench. Originet Muric is a goalkeeper who's been in and around Premier League teams for a while. He was at Man City previously and was at Burnley last season before Ipswich bought him for £8 million, and he's the 4th largest ever signing for the club. He has 13 appearances in the Prem, and the 25-year-old should also be a starter this season. Next, Jacob Greaves is the 2nd most expensive signing in the club's history at £18 million, and will be looking to provide some stability from centre-back after a brilliant season with Hull. Now, he's a powerful, clever player who will suit the Prem well. Connor Townsend is an older left-back who will offer great experience and a cool head in his appearances when he gets them. These new players, signed at a total cost of just over £62 million, will hope to fit in seamlessly with the current squad. With 13 goals and 8 assists in the 23-24 season, Connor Chaplin is arguably currently Ipswich Town's best player. Since joining Ipswich Town in July 2021, the 27-year-old English midfielder has been in amazing goal form. He's scored 53 goals and provided 17 assists in 146 matches for Ipswich. For a midfielder, these numbers are definitely crazy. But can he continue this amazing goal-scoring form in the most competitive league in the world? Leif Davis is another Ipswich player who's been in wonderful form since signing. Davis joined Ipswich last season from Leeds United, the club they beat to promotion, and was an important player in their promotion from League One. Davis has been beyond amazing for Ipswich. His 2 goals and 18 assists last season sum up how amazing he's been. Davis had the highest number of assists in the Championship last season. 18 goals created by a left-back are simply amazing. Leif has stated that he was able to reach this height because his manager believed in him. He said, "From day one, when I walked in the door, he told me he'd help me improve my game, and he has done massively, going forward and defensively." He also said, "I didn't think I had that quality in the final third. It definitely wasn't my strongest point, but now I'd say it is." Nathan Broadhead was Ipswich's joint highest goalscorer last season. With 13 goals in 38 matches, Nathan had the highest goal per game for Ipswich Town. The young midfielder has dished out numerous wonderful matches for the club and is definitely one of the players that will be relied on in the 24-25 season. Christian Walton, Ipswich Town's number 1, was one of their most important assets in the 23-24 season. The English goalkeeper kept 22 clean sheets in 46 matches in League One. He also saved 2 of the 6 penalties he faced. Ipswich has more amazing players like Luke Wolfenden, Cameron Burgess, Harry Clark, Axel Tuanzebe, Marcus Harness, Sam Morsey, and many others. With this number of good players, Ipswich Town will definitely be one of the best teams to watch in the coming season. Green Changer 20 Limited has proven to be up to the transfer task. Ipswich have signed a whopping 42 players over the 4 transfer windows there have been since the takeover in 2021, and this number will only increase next summer. This is the biggest league, the best league. The best players, the best coaches, and the best managers on this planet are in this league. I think both myself and Kieran will relish the opportunity to pit our wits against them. We've had several discussions about what this could look like. We won't be wild, we'll be methodical, but we'll be brave and bold, as we've done from the first day we walked into the club, insisted Ashton. The last time Ipswich were promoted to the Premier League, they finished 5th in their first season, the 2000-2001 season. A bigger and better Ipswich Town has now been promoted to the Premier League for the 24-25 season, and the question is, will they be replicating the great script of the 2000-2001 season and shocking the world? Does Ipswich Town have what it takes to finish in the mid-table or even higher at the end of the season? Let us know in the comments section.